Hi again. Doesn't this all feel kind of like weird or deja vu? Where have we been here before with today's headlines, the news? What is actually going on? What are we missing about this? Right now, all we see are these headlines of this getting laid off, fired, stuff that seems so foreign to us, wars. But there is a bigger picture, and I want to go over that with you. So don't go anywhere. Just stay tuned. I want to walk you through 2025 into 2026, the big pictures of what's happening and why at this time period in America's history. It's a very hard time for U.S., very hard time for the next several years. It's been hard, and it will continue until about the beginning of 2030. So we need to prepare, but then we need to look at this and figure out why. So let's go through the why, and then we'll figure out why a couple of these other things are common, ordinary, and should be expected. Number one, the United States is going through the ending of a 50-year cycle. It began with Reagan in 1980. It ends in 2030, okay? That period is ending, and we begin a new cycle. Anytime you have an ending period like this, there's a lot of upheaval, there's a lot of chaos, tremendous chaos, because an old way is dying. And then at the same time, we're finishing up an 80-year cycle that started back with World War II. So we have that 80-year cycle going into this 50-year cycle. So things are coming to a head. So a lot of the old traditions that we thought would be there forever are not. So we're taking a look at our institutions. We're taking a look at everything from education to government to politics. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of wringing of hands. Like, we can't do this, you can't do that. So what do? We bring in a disruptor, and we bring in a president who will start to slash and cut and what have you indiscriminately to break it up. We break up our allies, our relationships with the European Union. We go and we have meetings with Putin. What are we doing? This is not our modus operandi at all. But that's what we're doing. We're breaking up the old. And we don't have the new yet. And this is all part and parcel of what is expected, what is normal. Yes, we do survive. We survived the Civil War. If you will go back to these 80-year cycles and start with 1780, when this nation began, then you go to 1860, and you go to, next one is what, 1940. The whole thing is these every 80-year cycles. And there's a huge change in America's behavior and our movement forward. So if you go back to 1780, the nation began an 80-year cycle of manifest destiny and trains and settling and all these big things. And then we get to the next one with the Civil War, and then we begin a whole reconstruction, and then the big industrial thing and the railroads and the titans and the oligarchs and all that stuff. And now we're starting this period, and this is ending from the 1940s. So you expect this. The thing we don't have, because each one of these had a war. You had the American Revolution War, you had the Civil War, and you had World War II. Are we going to have another war? Well, we don't know yet. I feel that this Ukraine war was not going to end on a dime at all. Could expand, actually. I'm hoping it doesn't. So could the war in the Middle East. But I think one of the things that President Trump is doing is disrupting this whole order, which is part and parcel of the plan. He's actually a symptom of the bigger picture. He's sort of a tool, shall we say. This will all calm down, but not till we go through it. So in the meantime, you have to be aware that financial situations, financial institutions, all changing around. Government changing around. How we do business changing around. Allies, United States, as it said, it's been a policeman, or it's been the person which has benefited from being that policeman of the world. But it's tired of being the policeman of the world. So will it form new allies? What will come out of it? You have to live through the next 5 years. You have to live 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 to get through this. So the election was never about 2024, as I've always said. It was looking backwards. So Trump is a relic of the past. He's not the future. He's a disruptor so that we can move into the future. But he is not the future. It's like, I'm the wrecking ball, but I'm not the new building. So that's what I do. I come in and I wreck your programs, and now you rebuild it. So what's going to rebuild it? The United States is the most powerful country in the world. It wants to stay that way. It just doesn't want all the responsibility that goes with that. So then what do the people want? Will we even have the same rule of government? How we rule the government? Will it be a government of law? If it's not a government of law, how will it even exist? So these are the things that are being tested. The laws are being tested. Everything's being tested. So what will survive? If you do not have the rule of law, the country cannot survive. That's what it was originally built on back in the 1780s. So it isn't to completely destroy the country. It's to disrupt it, to make it more applicable to the next 80-year cycle, the next 50-year cycle. So there's good things ahead, but if you told that to somebody at the beginning of the Civil War, they wouldn't believe you. All they would do is fight, and then they would have a killing for a few years, and then would have a bad truce, where it really never was what we'll call a surrender, even though Lee surrendered, all the other militias didn't all surrender at the same time at all. And so we still have this Confederacy going on in the South, and all of this stuff is the past. So you will hear things we refer to, the American Revolution, the ideals of the Constitution, or the Civil War. You're going to hear that. Or World War II, which began the age of the experts. So now everybody's an expert. I just had recently surgery, and I don't want to look anymore at the internet to find out what my condition was. Supposedly it's been fixed, but I don't want to look at, the healing process, because I'll scare myself, because all these experts in the internet have given this miscalculations, misinformation, all of that about this condition. So there's all these billion experts out there who tell you what happened, what did, and social media. But where is the truth? So again, this all has to go through the society and say, what do they want? What will bring them together again? Well, what brings people together are wars. So if you want to unite the country, that's one way to do it. But do we need to do that to really unite the country? I don't believe we'll have another civil war, but it doesn't mean we won't be involved in some type of war. We hope not the Middle East. We hope not Europe. But this is very telling of these symptoms that are consistently gone through America's history. If you look at the world right now, the entire world is disruptive. All these countries with elections are disrupting. This party is coming in, this old party is going out, the European Union is breaking up, blah, blah, blah. It's disruptive for the world. So these cycles that are happening with the United States, particularly the 50-year cycle with Reagan onward, you can go back 50 years before that, and you will see 1930, 1940, 1950, 1960, 1970. You'll see that 50-year cycle, what began in 30. That was the, after the 20s, the crazy 20s, we began the downfall. And that ushered in a whole new period from 30 to 80. And that had to change. We got through the war and all that. So let's hope we don't have a war, but understand the bigger cycle. So be smart, be wise, don't be foolish, don't pay attention to a lot of stuff that's basically misinformation. Don't get your information from silly sources. Stay off of a lot of social media. Try very hard to be grounded. Do what needs to be grounded. Be practical. Don't take a lot of crazy risks. This is a very volatile period going forward. It's particularly volatile in 25. I think 26 will be a better period for America, but 25 is fairly volatile. I think 26 will be better. And I think that's good for America. And I think that, it's a lot of this financial stuff and the strife and drum that's going on right now kind of calm down in 26. And as it feeds out, we'll get into the elections of 27 and 28. Then you start to see these changes start. But right now, 25 is very volatile. So I hope this gives you some idea. Relax. It's March. Okay, St. Patrick's Day coming up. Yay for the Irish. And I'll look forward to seeing you on my next Zoom. If you missed my Zoom program on March 8th, where I went over everything about 25, 26, much more detail about what's going on in America and the world, very, very important stuff, you can still receive a recording. Just look below for the information. Thank you.